It's time for our WNWO Moms on the Go segment, and it's all about back to school preparation for the kiddos. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
We have Molly Pearson, Allie Dar, and Lisa Harst, of course, all from Moms in Heels joining us this morning. And it is that time of year. Parents are smiling from ear to ear, but the kiddos are probably having a hard time going back to school. So let's start off with you, Molly. Have any of your kids gone back to school yet?
No.
No? Okay. So, but you're getting them ready to go back to school. I know John's kids went back to school yesterday and some other ones went back as well. So what are you doing, Molly, to prep your kids for going back to school?
Well, I think actually out of all of us, I'm the only one that has one going to school, and really she's only going to preschool. So
that's a big deal, though.
Yeah.
That's like the first time away.
Yeah, it's her second year. So
okay,
she's a little bit more excited, but she goes 3 days a week instead of 2. So usually, like 2 weeks beforehand, I try to get them back into their, bedtime schedule, because in the summer they stay up a little bit later and we're a little bit more lenient on, what time they have to go to bed, and they have the ability to sleep in. So we're big on getting them back on their schedules and, getting them up in the morning, doing the same routine so that she's prepared, that those 3 days a week to get out the door as fast as we possibly can.
All right, so all right, you're in a boat by yourself, and these ladies here haven't reached, your sons or daughters haven't reached that age yet.
No.
But you've got to start thinking about it now, and you can still give advice to parents in terms of what they should do to take some preparation, to make some preparations for their kiddos. And Allie, what would you suggest? Parents who are having a hard time, emotionally, if they're at that age where maybe their son or daughter is starting preschool or kindergarten. What can you do, because that bond is so strong? They've been at home with you for so long, and then all of a sudden it's like you gotta take them and
you gotta get them excited.
Right.
You gotta get them excited for school and talk about it and make it like their priority for good success and make them excited. And
I mean, how do you make them excited? I don't know. I mean, it's hard because they're so attached to when they're at that young age, and they're just now going into kindergarten, and they've been at home the whole time. Lisa, what would you say?
I feel like, honestly, I think it's harder for the parent sometimes than the child, because I think kids are excited. I mean, Colton, all he talks about is school buses. He's like, he'll see a school bus, he's like, school bus, like, my niece comes over and she goes to school, and he's always like she goes to school. But I think I wrote something on Facebook about how parents have such a hard time sending their child for the first time, if you have a kindergartner or a first grader, someone that's never been in school before. And so many parents were like, I bawled my eyes out, I cried letting him go, like the teacher had to ask me to leave the classroom. So I think for parents, it can be a tough bonding thing to let your children go for the first time too.
I know, I still remember this day. I was going to kindergarten and I had to get on the big yellow bus. I didn't like the bus. I wasn't like Colton. I was afraid of the bus, didn't want to go anywhere near it. I cried and I cried, and my mom ended up having to pick me up on my first day of kindergarten. So I'll never forget that. That was kind of detrimental for me. But back to you, Molly. What else can parents do to make those preparations, especially when it comes to eating? You've got to get them back to getting their lunches made and getting into the swing of things. So what can parents do?
Right. Well, I think making, like daily rituals and a task chart even, and also a calendar for the child is helpful to allow them to interact with you, see what they need to do on a daily basis. That way, when they come home, your book bag goes here, we need to get your homework out, and then they can help you check those things off. So every single day, at least for the first couple of weeks, they understand, here's our routine, here's what we have to do, and they come to expect it, which will make them more comfortable with the transition.
Okay. What about making friends? That's big. Making friends. I mean, you're at a new school, a new environment. Maybe sometimes you're not at a new school, but if you're going into a new environment, it can be tricky. What is your...
You gotta just have them be outgoing and try to make friends with everyone instead of just, picking and choosing if they know somebody in the class, and just to be open to new people and the teacher, and to tell you at home if they have a problem.
Gotcha. So communication is really key with everything in life, it seems like.